We want to talk a little bit about adhesion promoting primers that could be used with speed liner. This is our primer 450. It comes in part A and part B. It's going to be mixed at equal volumes. The part A and part B do not need any pre-mixing, but they do need to be carefully measured. So what we've done is we've taken a beaker, and it's best to use a plastic or metal or glass, something like that as a mixer, and not a paper or wax cups, because the wax can cause you problems. Now what we've done is we've measured off 200 mils of A, and then we're going to put in the same beaker 200 mils of the part B. Okay? So first thing to do is identify the containers, because some of the containers of other products look similar. This is the primer 450 part B. It doesn't matter which side that you put in first, A or B. These are very thin liquids, so we're going to open these up, take the seals out, and we have a small bib to help you pour, and we're going to measure out the part B, which is an amber color, and I can see it's going to bring it to that mark. Okay, we've done that. And now we're going to mix the part A in with it. Again, it doesn't need any pre-mixing. The part A is a clear material, and that's how you can tell the two apart if you ever get mixed up and have one poured out. One is part B is an orange amber, whereas the part A is very clear. And we're going to take a flat spatula. There's no need to use a drill and or a paint stick, and we're going to mix. And you only need to mix about 30 seconds. This material has a very long working life, about 4 hours. So it's best to put it on and within, say, the first couple of hours, but there's no rush. And that's all there is to it. Because the primer 450 is low viscosity, it can be brushed, sprayed, or rolled on to the surface. The rollers should be solvent-resistant rollers and not latex rollers, because they'll come apart on you. Now, the primer 450 is allowed to set for about 30 minutes at 72 degrees. In cooler weather, a little longer. Hotter weather, probably maybe about the minimum will be about 20 minutes. But you want to have it so if you touched it with your gloved hand that it's a little bit tacky, but no worries. You have all day to spray the Speed Liner 1000 on the top of it. If you have to go the next day, all you need to do is reprime the surface with more primer 450 to get good adhesion. Now sometimes this is desirable to pigment. Speed Liner comes with these pre-measured tubes. In this case, we're using black. And some folks like to use a little bit of marker, and then just taking about 2 or 3 teaspoons per, say, pint of material of the black sometimes helps you get a visible mark of what you're spraying on if you're putting it on a surface where you can't tell if you've put any on. Now remember, more's not better. All we're trying to do is just wet the surface out. The primer 450 is good for wood, it's good for steel, some plastic surfaces, not polyethylene or polypropylene. For harder to bond surfaces, we do have another primer called primer 460, and it's used for aluminum substrates, brass, and for copper. Something that's very important about the substrate that you're working on. If you're working on bare metal, especially aluminum, it's best to pre-clean. And what we found is there's a product by Hinkle Corporation called AlumaPrep 33, which is an excellent cleaner for raw aluminum surfaces. The thing to do is to mix it at about a 2 to 1, 1 part of the AlumaPrep to 2 parts water, brush it on, allow it to sit only 2 or 3 minutes, don't allow it to dry, and then rinse it off with just tap water and allow that to dry. This is aluminum surfaces I'm talking about. Once that's dry totally, then primer 460 is recommended to be used with the aluminum surfaces.